evening. We're all invited to take another terrifying journey into the world of mystery, suspense, and terror. Let's turn off all the lights, lock the doors and windows, sit back and enjoy this evening's chilling tale.
All right, well, thank you for tuning that dial to the Eek channel. My name is James, and I am joined today by my co-host on the left,
Josh,
and my co-host on the right,
Andy.
This is Eek Speak. Yep, that's right. I'm bringing it back. Woo! I'm taking it back. I just like the rhyming too much, so we had to come back to it.
Yeah,
this is the show that serves as a weekly horror house party where everyone wants to talk about scary movies. And today, we're going to call up our friend Madeline in just a little bit, and she is Matter Gray on Instagram. But before we get into that, we have a little bit of horror news.
Something I saw today. So Paul Rudd, everyone's favorite Ant-Man and various other characters, he is going to reprise his role as Tommy Doyle in the sequels, in the Halloween sequels.
Yeah, and Halloween Kills and or Halloween Ends, which means he's probably going to die in one of them.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, it just kind of popped up, and I mean, I don't think anybody dislikes Paul Rudd, and I think that's pretty cool.
I don't think I want him to be in those movies.
I hope he's not Paul Rudd in the movie. I hope he's his character as an adult.
No, his humor is so funny. I think if he's himself, that's okay.
I think he'll be 100% himself, and I think that I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's whatever.
He's kind of like a white Will Smith. Like, he's his character in every movie. Like, he's just Will Smith.
He's typecast.
It happens. He's good at it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd is white Will Smith.
Hey.
Is he going to drop a record soon?
I would buy it.
Has to be a hip-hop record, though.
Yeah, so that happened. We'll see what we think. I have a little tiny bit of horror news. Apparently, James Wan is producing a I Know What You Did Last Summer series for Amazon Prime.
Oh.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. The movies kind of sucked, but they were a product of their time. It's the same screenwriter, the first one was, as the original Scream. So people were like, oh, it's just knock off Scream. It's like, yeah, that's literally what it was. Like, he struck gold and tried to strike gold again. What I think, though, is where Scream is such a West Coast movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer gets to be such an East Coast movie. And I think that's cool. I don't think there's a lot of great East Coast slashers.
Nope.
Jason Takes Manhattan doesn't count.
I think Leprechaun in the Hood was in Manhattan.
Maybe.
Probably. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I think it'll be good.
Well, I hope they parody this remake or series into a series of Scary Movie. If you know that parody series.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I never saw I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Sure.
But the parody of it is fantastic. As a comedy, of course.
Wait, I still remember what you did last Friday the 13th, right? Isn't that it?
No.
That's one of them.
That's one of them.
There's a few. There was also, I forget. There was a mockbuster that came out immediately after Scream. It was that one, but I think it's called Shriek. Shriek, if you know what I did last Friday the 13th or something like that.
This is why you host the podcast. And I just appear on it.
I've never seen that movie.
I think just
seen
the title
cover
is good
of
enough.
it. Yeah. I've just seen the cover of it, so I actually have no idea what it's really about. Okay, we're going to call our guest in here. Hopefully the ringer's not crazy loud.
Hello?
Hi, is this Madeline?
This is. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. This is James with the Eek channel. I also have Josh and Andy here. Say hi, guys.
Hey,
Hi, guys. How are you?
pretty good.
Good.
Hey, so
Good.
how are you doing today? What's going on?
I'm doing swell. I'm just basking in a clean house thanks to your guys' awesome podcast.
Nice.
Yes.
Would it be clean without the podcast?
It would not.
Oh,
It would definitely not.
man.
That's awesome. So, I wanted to give a little bit of background. You were, or are, I guess, we're still in the early stages, but you were one of our earliest kind of supporters. You won a contest that we did a while back. We sent you a free movie, and you've just been really supportive, really ever since we started. And so, first of all, just thank you. I really appreciate that. And then also,
Absolutely.
yeah, and then also just whenever we started having guests on the show, I was like, oh, we're gonna start reaching out to people, and I just started messaging everyone on the following list, and I was like, oh, what about Matter Gray? I'm sure she'd want to talk to us. Hopefully, like we'll give it a shot.
yeah.
So. So yeah,
Hell
thanks.
yeah. I really appreciate that Blu-ray. I have not had a copy of the Misery Blu-ray, so I can't tell you how stoked I was to open that and have one
Yes.
that nice.
Yeah, that was the goal.
It was blew my mind.
Perfect. That's amazing. Okay, so
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We love to talk about like people's horror origin stories. So, kind of
Yeah.
how did you get into this thing, and what was some of the first things you saw? What's your horror origin?
My mom is super into horror. She was a young lady in the 60s and 70s, and so she kind of had like a ground level view of horror from when it was like a super conservative, like almost kitschy thing to this like
Yeah.
balls out gore fest. And it was always really cool to sit and talk to her and kind of hear what she knew about the genre. And, I grew up in the mid 80s and 90s, and I think, and I'm not alone here, I think a lot of kids back then were allowed to watch stuff that they're really not now,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's true.
And so she always kind of just let me watch whatever as long as I could handle it. And she was very like realistic with me, telling me, this is practical effects, this is fake, these are actors. And was just really supportive of my love of it. Some little girls grew up watching Disney movies with their mom. I grew up watching horror with mine,
That
and
is
I'm
amazing.
so
It's
proud
a
of that.
contrast, yeah.
She's an awesome little lady. And the first one that I remember seeing was A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Scared the shit out of me, man. I had such nightmares. That was one of the first ones that like I couldn't go to bed, and
Yes.
and that was the one where my mom kind of sat me down and she's like, you play dress up and you pretend you're going to work. That's what he does for a living, and he's just an actor, and
Such
totally
a good
obsessed
mom.
with it.
That's
She's an awesome mom.
yeah, that's incredible. I don't think that my son's 6 years old, and I don't think that I've ever like had the conversation about what an actor is
Yeah.
with him. Like,
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Like I've sat him down and been like, oh, that's not real. This is real, and just use those terms. But I've never talked about like,
Right.
oh no, that's just how this guy. That's what he does. Like he gets paid to do that. Like that's
And that's what she did, and I thought it was so cool. Like, oh, that's awesome, And so then from that point on, it was just like, give me more,
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, like you could inspire a kid to, want to make movies and stuff by saying stuff like that.
Sure.
I've never even thought about that. I should do that.
Absolutely. There you go, man. Parenting 101 right there.
There you go. So we ask a few different questions on here. The one that I have been liking a lot lately is just if you have any like recommendations of just something that you think is super underrated as a horror movie and doesn't get maybe as much love and attention as it deserves. Anything come to your mind when I ask you that?
I would say probably Nobuhiko Obayashi's House for 1977. It's House Dude. It's a Japanese flick.
Mm-hmm.
It's mad. It's insane, but it's so cool, and it was balls out at a time when I don't think they were really doing that kind of stuff,
Yeah, that's the one that the cover is like the big reddish orange cat, right?
That's right. Yes, that's right.
I haven't seen it, but I really need to.
It's crazy. It's just, and it starts out, you wouldn't think it's a horror movie, and it's just got all of these insane elements to it that just make it this wonderful little gem that I always try to recommend to everybody.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah, we'll do that.
definitely.
Adding it to the list.
There you go.
All right, what's something that maybe actually Cody's not with us today, but he has
was wondering.
the best question. Josh, you wanna lead us into that one?
So Cody asks, if there was a franchise or a movie that you could erase from like the horror history, like one that you just like think isn't very strong that you just don't like for some reason.
Maybe it's way overrated.
Yeah, maybe it's hyped up and you just don't get it at all. What's one that you would get rid of?
That's tough for me, man, because like I'm like a cheerleader of all kinds of movies because
Good
I always
for
try to
you.
find
That's
something.
good.
I try to find something I love in everything. So I mean, even movies that a lot of people would say, you know, I hate that. I always try to find something about it that I enjoy because I mean that's 90 minutes to 2 hours of your life you're not going to get back, man. You know.
That's a really good answer. It's a really good
Thank you.
positive answer, and I love it.
Thank you.
So what's something maybe you've seen? What would you say is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Scariest movie I've ever seen. I was horrified by Alien the first time I saw that too. That one, I think I was like 8 or 9 years old, and that dinner scene where they burst out of John Hurd's chest.
Yeah.
I've never been more traumatized in my life. I couldn't eat for a good, you know. And my mom was like, "No, it's okay." No, it's not.
no, it's not. It's not.
No, it's not. And it was, and even though it's not like super gory or anything, I just felt like the sense of dread throughout. Even today, even though it's 40 years old this year, I think it's still, or last year, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It still stands up so well. It's still such a good sci-fi horror movie.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. All right, well, I asked you what a couple of your favorites are, and we like to play a little trivia game with people's favorite movies. So today we have some Psycho trivia. Are you up for that?
All right, I am.
Right on, Josh. Take us away.
Here we go. Question number 1. What did they use for the blood effects in Psycho? Is it A, corn syrup, B, chocolate syrup, C, pig's blood?
Oh, gross.
The chocolate syrup.
Chocolate syrup.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep. So
Yeah.
apparently, Alfred Hitchcock, especially since he shot that film in black and white, he said that the chocolate syrup looked it just popped the most on camera. So
Are there horror movies that have used actual animal blood or human blood? Or...
yeah, I don't think there's a lot of human blood, but
I don't know, man.
There have been some pig's blood or pig intestines have been used in a lot of like zombie flicks.
Okay.
But
Gosh.
yeah, usually older ones, not so much anymore. But
Yeah, wouldn't be allowed now.
The 70s. A lot
Okay.
in the 70s.
yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. Alfred Hitchcock was so pleased with the film's score that he claimed it was a large percent of what made the movie so great. What was the percentage? A, 25%, B, 33%, or C, 50%?
I would say 50% C. I'm not 100% on that one, but I'm going to take a stab at 50%.
That's a good guess. It is B, 33%.
Damn it.
That was a good guess.
It's a good guess. I think Hitchcock might have been a little bit too high on his own supply to give away 50% of Psycho. You know?
Yeah. Damn good score, man.
Yeah, it is such a great part of the film though, and he actually loved the score so much that he doubled the composer's salary, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Must have been like
Very generous.
$50. Nice. Okay. Question number 3. Psycho's shower scene is one of the most iconic scenes ever filmed. How many days did it take to shoot? A, 1 day. B, 3 days. C, 7 days.
C, 7 days.
7 days.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nailed it. I think Janet Leigh was able to shoot for a total of 3 weeks, and it took 1 entire week just for the shower scene.
Just for the shower scene, yeah. That's
Yeah.
an amazing scene too. All the this is that was the first scene that made me like cognizant of editing and what editing could do.
Absolutely. It's so
You know.
it's so scary and it's so well done. And so that scene actually wasn't even meant to have music. and the composer went ahead and wrote a score for that part anyway. And I mean, it's one of the most iconic sounds in all of filmmaking today. It's just crazy.
It's just
Definitely.
it's a
Everybody
scary
knows that sound.
Yeah.
Even people who haven't seen that movie know the they know it,
Oh, yeah.
and it wouldn't be the same without that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Madeline. Well, we do like to take a moment and just, let you have some space. I don't know if you're involved in anything creative. Maybe you just want to promote your Instagram account or something like that. Just anything that you want to tell the people.
I wish I was creative. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm just a couch surfer. I like to stay on my safe zone and watch TV all the time. So I just kind of use IG to really just show off my movie collection. I really don't do social media a whole lot. And a friend of mine told me, hey, there are people out there that dig movies, just as much more than you do. So it'd be a way to at least, keep in touch with the rest of the world, because I'm kind of a hermit, and I really like getting on there and talking. I've met some really interesting people on there, man. I never would have dreamed that there were so many awesome people that collect movies and are, hardcore into the genre. It's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're totally right. The Horrorgram family and community is just the best.
They are.
I couldn't believe it. Just starting out with the podcast and stuff, like we thought, hey, we watch a movie every week, so let's just do the same thing, but hop on the mics and talk about it afterwards. And maybe 5 of our other friends will listen. But we've had, just such support from people just like you and other people in the horror Instagram community. It's just been really, really incredible, and we are just so humbled by it. It's amazing.
They are. They're great people, and I mean, there are times when I've mentioned, this is the first time I'm watching something, and I've never gotten any flack from somebody, like, oh, you haven't seen that, They're always excited for me, like, oh man, you're watching this for the first time, and, good luck, and I love that. I love that there's really not much animosity in the community at all, and I love that,
Yeah, absolutely. So one more question before I let you go. So today we have Andy, which I don't know if you've seen. Andy's been on one episode before. Andy is really scared of scary movies.
I am now. I used to really like them, and I made a deep dive, and I made it to Human Centipede 2, and I jumped out and haven't really gone back.
Oh no!
Haven't gone back to the pool after that.
Too.
Yeah, that one was rough. It was rough to watch, but I've seen some good ones. But there is keep going.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know if you had any horror movie recommendations for Andy here, as he's so bravely trying to walk back into the ocean of horror after basically getting attacked by a shark that is Human Centipede 2.
Yep.
Face first.
Yep.
Right. I always recommend Phantasm if you haven't really been too into horror. Phantasm is a great one. That's such a good one. It's just another, like, kind of, I'm really into sci-fi horror, and that's one of my favorites.
I'm good with sci-fi.
If you like that first one, go with the whole franchise, man. It's just crazy, and it's so good. And Angus Scrimm was such a good villain. He's just so imposing. That one line, boy. It's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
So I would definitely recommend that, or anything by Lucio Fulci.
Okay. Yeah.
He did stuff. Yeah, he did stuff like The Beyond and The House by the Cemetery and Don't Torture a Duckling, and those are all really great, like, Italian horror cinema that I just don't think should be overlooked at all.
Torturing a duck, that one seems difficult to press play on.
It's about a child killer, so I mean, it's a little bit.
Oh man, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking to
a
father of 2 now. Things
Yeah.
change after you
I
have
gotcha.
kids. That stuff's
Yeah.
hard to watch.
I
now.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I get it. Totally.
I'll throw one back at you. So, one of the scariest movies probably ever for me. So I'll call this the Gremlins test. Is the movie Gremlins the first one?
Okay.
Do a little quick bit about it. I was watching my cousins. They were younger. I was 20 something, and they wanted to watch Gremlins. And DVD, it has that reel before you press play, and it does like a short, like, minute and a half or something of the movie.
Yeah, like the menu.
The menu in
Yeah.
the menu video. I couldn't even watch that, and so I pressed play. Like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I said, no, we're not going to watch this. And
Oh
so
my goodness, no.
I turned it off, and I turned on SpongeBob instead because that was better. But anyways, the question is, where do you stand on Gremlins? Is that a scary movie for you?
Gremlins is a Christmas movie in our house. I play that every year, like right along with Die Hard. I love Gremlins.
Gosh, James says something similar. It's a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
It's a Christmas movie. Every year, I only want to be Lynn Pelzer every Christmas. I just want to be as badass as her, dude. That's all.
Yeah, maybe I should, I don't know, watch through my fingers or something.
You
Like,
should just bring Jack over.
yeah, right.
We can all watch it together. It'll be great.
There you go.
Gosh.
All right, Madeline. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you again just for your support. You're just you're
Yeah, thank you.
another incredible person in the horror community, and we love you. So just thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you guys too, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You have a great night.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks. You too. Bye, guys.
Man, it is so nice to talk to nice people.
Yeah.
That's been one of the funnest things about adding in the guests is just meeting new people and getting to have just nice conversations about scary movies.
What was her Instagram?
Matter Gray. That is MADDER GRAY.
A-Y. I went E-Y.
Yeah, that's a good guess. It's a good guess. Yeah, so she has an incredible horror movie collection, and it's funny about the horror Instagram community specifically. Sometimes they get really amped up about when I post something about an episode, but that doesn't happen very often. And sometimes they get really amped up when I post like a really good meme.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I think I have like a bitchin' meme,
Yeah.
and nobody even really cares. But then what they go crazy over is just a picture of me holding a Blu-ray in my hand and like, hey, has anybody seen this movie? I'm gonna watch this one this week. And it gets like,
Oh my God!
it
It's so simple.
It gets like 100 likes and everybody's commenting and like it opens up the conversation and it's great. And so I just love how simple the horror Instagram community is sometimes. It's
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, I kind of like what she said about not being judgmental, I guess, to use my own term, about not watching a movie when she's watching it for the first time or
Yeah.
something like that. Oh my gosh, you haven't seen this yet.
Right.
Because I could get that on so many. I mean, every single movie she talked about, I don't think I've seen.
Well, I think that what's kind of a cool aspect of horror in general and the horror community, everybody has their kind of outlying mavens who are kind of can be dicks and really ruin it for everybody. Every community has that. I mean, you think about comic book nerds, horror nerds, action film nerds. You can find it pretty much anywhere.
Just nerds.
But I think what's so interesting and cool about the horror community is it's like a microcosm of what the genre is, because like the genre has to be accepting of so many different things. If it doesn't fit somewhere, it's usually called a horror movie. I mean, we talked about that with like Godzilla and kaiju movies. Like they're not horror necessarily, but we kind of lump them in there. We let those guys come play with us. And then we've even seen it in even a broader scope of at horror movie conventions are now doubling up with wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
Like you go to horror
like
conventions.
WWE?
Yeah, you go to horror conventions and there's former WWE stars there, or I guess former WWF stars there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think horror is just it's a fringe feeling experience, and I think because of that, everyone wants just as many people as possible to experience and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they don't care if you've seen nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, there's one movie, start there. Like you know, no one can watch every single movie. It's impossible. Well, maybe.
I'll try.
But you know, it's just experience these movies. They will create a feeling inside of you, and it's awesome.
With arms wide open.
Nice.
We're we welcome you, Andy, into the horror community, even though you don't really like scary movies anymore.
I once was there.
So we're actually going to be watching a movie tonight. We're going to be watching Happy Death Day to You.
And you too.
Wait, is that about Bono?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
we
that's
watched the first one. We didn't review it. That was before we started doing the
that was-
podcast.
I feel like it was relatively close. To
Yeah, I think it was close.
So I didn't do my homework. I did not watch the first one.
Yeah, I
Am I gonna
didn't
be lost?
expect you to.
I think you'll get it.
You'll be
pretty quick.
fine.
Okay.
The essential premise is Groundhog's Day, but people die.
That's actually spot on.
Yeah, that's the premise. I guess this one is supposed to get a little broader and go a little more into sci-fi territory.
Okay.
Cool.
So it'll be interesting.
Like, I mean, well, I'm not going to do a review or anything of the first one. But
Yeah. We liked it though. I mean, in general, like we didn't hate it. It's fun. It's PG-13,
Yeah.
I believe.
really?
Yeah.
There-
Yep. So
some
it's not super
definite-
gory.
Some definite corny elements, but
Yeah.
it was fun, and I don't know.
If you had to relate it to something that Andy may be very familiar with,
I watched the trailer for this one.
yeah.
It seemed a little. It's escaping me. Keep going.
Yep. I would say that it is the series as a whole is a more funny Final Destination.
That's it. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Based on the.
Yeah.
Yep.
More funny.
Yep. A little
Okay.
bit more humor infused, but very Final Destination-y
Yeah.
in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up for this episode. Do not forget, Eek Speak is our online horror talk show, and you are invited to the party. We record live on Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We would love for you to join us and be a guest in the audience and chat. We'd also love you to be a guest online with us, just like Madeline was today, because a party is not a party without your friends and without guests. Otherwise, it's just going to be me sitting here talking to a microphone, and nobody wants to listen to that.
I would listen to it still.
Hey, I was streaming video games the other day, and there wasn't a lot of people watching, so I know.
I was watching.
I know my personal audience is limited. But if you would like to be a guest on the show, just like Madeline was today, you can just hit us up on Instagram at Eek Channel. That is EEKCHANNEL. Or you can email us. I have like official email now. If you want to be like
snap.
super old school and send an email, you can email us at hello@eekchannel.com. We're also kind of revamping the website right now, so you can check out our website, eekchannel.com, and click the Be a Guest link in the upper right-hand corner.
Wow. Can I click the link?
You can click it. I don't
Yeah.
care. Click it. Click it. Give me your name, then your email, and I'll email you back.
That's too much information.
I know, man. It's tough. It's tough these days. I think there's going to be a big generational divide between millennials and Gen Z on giving away details like that.
Yeah, you used
I
my
don't
first
do that.
name, and I don't know if I even like that.
What's
Should I have called you Rocco?
what's the yearly age difference between a millennial and a Gen Z?
I can't remember. Gen Z, I think the oldest Gen Zers graduated high school last year.
Oh, so Gen Z's after millennial.
Yes.
Oh.
Gen X is before.
Oh, 'cause
You're bridging
I
you're
feel-
bridging
I don't
want
wanna
to
be a Z at all.
I'm close to I feel more like a Gen Xer.
I think you
for
have.
sure.
I think you had more of a Gen X childhood
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
because you're just a little bit
Now
older than
I'm
us.
lumped into those darn millennials.
Hey, you got a Twitter recently, didn't you?
Yeah, each channel has a Twitter now. That's right.
Oh, you got to get that plug for the Twitter.
That's right. It's also we're also on the twits and tweets. I don't know what I'm doing, but I randomly post hot takes on horror news.
I don't think we call them twits, but
It was funny.
We'll keep
okay?
going.
I
Love
thought
it.
that was pretty good.
That was twits and tweets. So yeah, you can do all the internet things if you like our show, and we really appreciate that. Other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you want to help out the show, like I said, just like, rate, review, comment, subscribe, enable notifications. There's just so many things now.
Tell people.
Yeah, just tell your friends. I don't care. It's fine. Just tell your friends. That's all that really matters. Stay geeky out there.
This has been a production of Eek Channel. We make spooky stuff for people like you. You can discover more content like this at eekchannel.com or find us on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all the places. And don't be shy, we like making new friends. Thank you for tuning in and stay eeky out there.